I've noticed a lot of people in this industry, what they tend to think is that it goes close someone and then train that person. So you sign them up and then you immediately get to training them. Problem with that is that it's short-term thinking. When I look at some of the people who have created monumental success in this space, they add an extra step. So it's not close someone and then from closing them, immediately training them. You have to take a step back and actually focus on the first piece, which is get people to actually say yes to being open to learning about your business, your products, your services in the first place. So before you just try to sign people up or you go into the concept of you're going to try and get people involved in whatever it is you're offering, taking one step backwards and focusing first on getting people to actually give you a verbal confirmation that they really want to know what you're all about first, and then proceeding to going through that enrolling process and then getting them into your business and training them to do what you're doing. And it seems like a very simple thing, but it actually is really avoided. And the reason why it's being avoided is because it can be easy to get involved in something and just want to get people down that racetrack of joining over and over and over and over again. But if you don't focus first on getting people to say yes to learn, and I mean yes with an open mind. I'm not talking about assuming that they kind of know what you're doing, right? But actually really wanting to say yes and learn about what you're offering. So I'm going to get rid of, if you're offering different products or services, let's not do that on here. This is just going to be generic training for people. So I will block you if you're going to just try and solicit your courses or whatever it is that you're offering. You can do that on somewhere else. This is going to be very, very structured training. So the first thing I'm going to offer you is a series of tips. I'm going to go through 4 of them that I've used to get people to actually say yes to what you're offering and say yes to learning about it, and then going into facilitating that process with your product or services, wherever that is. So if you're hopping on right now, I'm just going to backtrack on what I just said. Many people in this industry think they need to get involved, close people, get people signed up on what you're offering, and then train those people to go do the same. And then there's a hamster wheel of people in your whole organization, your whole team, that are joining, that are trying to close people, trying to enroll them, and then facilitating that process by training those people to do the exact same thing. And what I'm telling you is you want to take a step back and get people first to really say yes with curiosity and eagerness to learn about what it is you're offering first, and then after that, go through the process of whatever sales tactics you're learning from your organization, from your upline or whatever. So that being said, here's 4 tips that I've used in my life that have made it a lot easier to create a situation where there are people coming to you consistently asking you to be a part of it. Paul, exactly what you just said, right? The pre-close setup is where it's at. Getting people that are geared, but it's not just about trying to frame it like you're trying to close them out. So let me use an example. This ties into my first tip. About 2 years ago, I was at an event, and one of the speakers that got on stage to talk was a guy named Harvey McKay. And at the time, I had no idea who this guy was. He was an older cat, and probably in his 80s. But when he got on stage and talked for an hour and a half straight, it was unbelievable. But near the end of the talk, he was very open with people and let them know, I literally get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars per speaking gig to give the exact same speech over and over and over again, and I've been doing it for decades. So he doesn't change it up. He doesn't go off on a new topic. This guy is such an OG that he's literally been in a position where he's given the same talk again and again and again and has gotten paid multiple 6 figures per speaking gig to do that over time all around the world. So sitting in the audience, I'm sitting there thinking, how has this guy been able to position himself in a way where he literally has built a network of people that are not only willing to have him travel all around the world, no expenses, but actually pay him multiple 6 figures to not only give a talk, but the same talk again and again and again. And it boggled my mind. But I was fortunate enough after the event to actually talk with him one-on-one. So I was talking with him, and this guy's got a lot more wisdom than me. He's been around the world a lot longer than me. And I said, how have you positioned yourself to do that over the years? And what he told me was that when he was 16 years old, his dad got him a big Rolodex. And some of you may not know what that is. It's one of those large paper Rolodexes where you can turn it and has different people based off of their name. So it's like the alphabet, right? And what he did is his dad told him, from now on, every single person you meet for the rest of your life, I want you to put in that Rolodex. And he actually did, which is what's crazy. He actually followed through. So for literally like 60 to 70 years, every single person that this guy met, he put in that Rolodex. So Imagine how big that got. And of course, he ended up getting new ones. He had multiple. He has books and books. But he told me he has journals upon journals upon journals stacked with contacts. A massive contact list. This active candidate list that is growing and growing and growing. Yeah, McKay don't play, for real. Yeah, what's up, Nick? How you doing? Hey, Nadeem, what's going on, guys? So if you're hopping on, just know we are talking about 4 strategies to help you create endless leads in your business, and these are real strategies. So this ties into my first one. So talking to this guy, Harvey McKay, and he started writing down all these names. Now, at the forefront, you may think, well, that's kind of pointless. That seems a lot of work. That's really tedious. And most of the people on that list are not going to be that beneficial. However, if you make a list of people for the next 60 years, and let's say you have 60,000 people on that list, let's say you have 100,000 people on that list, right? You take 1% of that group. So there's 1% of that list. That tiny percent could be the make or break in your entire business. And it could lead you to so many other people in that network. Indirectly, that list that he created is massive. And from that warm market of lists that he built, he's been able to build his relationships and build his contacts. He doesn't do a lot of traditional advertising. He's got a book that's done really well, but he's not over there creating tons of Facebook ads every day or trying to build out, this massive marketing campaign online. He learned to remember and build a contact list. So here's why I say, tip number 1, you have to decide, are you going to be a planter or are you going to be a harvester? So here's what I mean by that. A planter is always focused on gardening and planting their seeds, curating the seeds, taking care of the seeds. Harvesters taking what they planted, right? Most people in our industry are focusing too much on harvesting without enough planting. So they're spending the majority of their time when they get people involved, teaching them how to harvest, and then train more people how to harvest. Instead of teaching people how to plant long term, 80% of your time should be planting. 20% of your time should be harvesting. Every single relationship that you build with someone, you have to realize you're going to be planting that relationship over and over and over again. But then when you ask them to check out your business, your services, your products, that's when the harvesting happens. And you can't be harvesting the same relationship all day. There's no way, right? If I'm friends with you and you ask me to take a look at your business, you're not going to be able to ask me to take a look at 5 different businesses within a span of 6 months, right? I'm going to be like, BS, I'm going to call you out. It's not going to work. But you can always send me a voice message going, hey man, how have you been? That was a really good message that you did yesterday. I really like that post, right? Well, that's one little plant. So the challenge is that people are so eager when they get into network marketing to make money quickly, they're focused on harvesting rather than planting. Why that happens normally is because people are getting involved with another income coming in, like their job or whatever they're doing, and they tend to normally not like it as much and would like to make their main income the network marketing company they're in. So they're so focused on getting that income up and leaving the other income, they're just focused on harvesting. But what it tends to do is it makes you try and get the reward a little bit too quick. And what I would recommend is what a lot of people have done that is really successful is create an income stream that you already have right now that you're okay with doing, while you're planting for your MLM or your network marketing company or your sales business. And in time, all those seeds you're planting, when you do decide to do a round of harvesting, you'll have so many people to choose from because of your positioning in the marketplace. So the first thing that I was saying, right, is 80% planting, 20% harvesting. Okay, now we're diving into tip number 2, okay? When it comes to social media, with gaining a lot of leads, you have to know what your actual goal is. So we're going to reverse engineer what your actual focus is if you're trying to market your product or services or what you're about online. And here's what it is. It's a very simple thing. To reverse engineer, what your goal should be on social media is to wake up every single day and check your Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, and text messages and have it be filled with contacts or inquiries about you or what you're offering. When you can wake up in the morning and check your Facebook Messenger and it is filled with people that have contacted you the day before, the week before, interested about you first and your business second, that is a sign that you are doing something right. Just like when you're going to the gym over and over and over again. I see Paul in here giving some love, right? You go to the gym day in, day out. What is a sign, an indicator that you're getting results? You start getting bigger. You start getting stronger. Those muscles start getting more defined. Well, an indicator that you're doing the right thing and that you should keep doing what you're doing because it's working is getting your Facebook Messenger filled with people that are interested about you first and the business, your product, your service second. That is a huge sign that you're doing the right thing. But how do you do that? And I have a gift for you at the end of this, absolutely free, that has made a huge impact on my life and a lot of other people's lives I've given it to. But how do you do that? Well, you have to start creating a posting strategy that's going to make sense to give you business gains. Paul's got it right. You got to create business gains. So what is this posting strategy? What am I talking about? Well, a buddy, my name's Scott, who I've followed a long time, who has great content, Scott Otterford, has basically take 6 social media posting tips. And it's basically, if you look at every single way you post on social media, you can pretty much narrow it down to 6 main types of tips. So when you're thinking about what type of posts you want to do, these 6 ones are really the best foundation of how your content should be posted on social media. So the first one is a personal story. It's talking about something that's either happened to you, so your audience can relate to what you talked about, or something that's happened to someone else in your life, a different person's story that you're talking about, so the audience is indirectly going to actually relate that to themselves. Because it's about that subconscious relation. Whether you tell a story about you, or whether you tell a story about someone else, it doesn't make a difference because they're actually going to relate that message to them. So if I tell a story about myself, or I tell a story about Lindsay, hello, how's it going, who went through a crazy situation, my audience member, my potential customer, is going to relate the story that they hear of me explaining it the exact same way as if explaining it as Lindsay or a third-party member, which gives you credibility because you don't always have to use your life experiences. You get to use what? Other people's life experiences, which is awesome because guess what? There's tons of people, so you have tons of ammunition for tons of stories. So personal story is a really unique way to create and curate good content on social media. Here's the second one, is personal philosophy. What is something that you stand for, that you believe in, that not everyone in the world may believe in it, but not everyone in the world's supposed to believe in it because it's going to help segment the people you actually want to work with so you're not wasting all your damn time. So the point of doing a personal part of your own views or a personal philosophy that you have is because it's going to filter out the people that you really want to associate with. Look, you're probably getting friend requests every single day on Facebook. Well, you got to identify the people that you actually want to associate with and work with in this platform that can really put you in a position to make tons of money, but also make tons of impact, which is way more important. So a personal philosophy post makes a huge difference and you being able to identify the people that really associate with you, because we talked about last week the importance of gathering that tribe. It's not about getting tens of thousands of likes. Personally, I'm not on social media to get 500 likes. I'm on here to curate a collection of people that have a core premise that relates to mine. So for example, my core premise is the fact that I believe everyone has the opportunity now in the information age to make the transition, do what they love full time. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. Personally, one of the best for me has been network marketing or finding a product, whether it's affiliate marketing, to attach into and tap into a compensation plan, use that to then diversify into other investments and other assets, which I've been fortunate to do, and a lot of people have been on here, and then use that as a way to help empower other people and raise the consciousness. Yep, Ryan said it best. You need to pick and choose who you want in your circle, because then the circle will get stronger, and that will actually expand the circle even bigger. Way, way bigger if you get the right tribe first. So don't focus on getting everyone. You get the right ones first, and it'll expand out with personal philosophy. So I don't want to digress. Let's go back to it. I was talking about these 6 types of posts, okay? So the first is your personal story. Second, your personal philosophy. Third is some type of result or training. So you're talking about some type of result that either you've had, that a client has had, that someone that you know has had, and you're using that result as a manner to train a lesson or a point that's going to position you as an expert or have some wisdom on a topic. You got to remember, it's about breaking out of obscurity. You could watch this entire Facebook Live and be like, yeah, that was pretty good, what he talked about. Derek had some good points, but honestly, I could talk about all that same stuff. But the thing is, if you break out of obscurity and you're just the one doing it over and over and over again, the person that saw it and said, that was good stuff, but they didn't do the actual live, they didn't do the actual post, people won't buy their products because they haven't broken out of obscurity. So you have to break out of that mesh because there's so many people out there that are just scrolling, watching, and not curating posting. Perfect example, someone that posts all the time, James Smiley, baby. What's up, buddy? I'm in this guy's Facebook group, and every dang day, I see him posting in his Facebook group. Why? Because he knows the game. He's understood it's important to curate a small group of people that value you and expand out. So, not to digress, use results-based training to position yourself as an expert. Okay, talk about number 4, lifestyle. People need to see that you have a life. I love you too, Jared. What's good, man? Appreciate you giving me love for my birthday. They need to see that you have a life, that you have relationships and people that you value. I've always talked about the 6 cornerstones of wealth that was taught to me by one of my mentors is your physical, your mental, your social, your spiritual, your family, and your business. And you identify those 6 spots in your life and the things that matter most, and you use those 6 cornerstones to curate content, to make posts. Whether you like going to the gym, it doesn't matter what it is, right? It doesn't matter what it is, but those 6 cornerstones are great ways to identify your lifestyle. So I'm going to go through that one more time, okay? So talk about lifestyle, right? So physical, mental, social, family, business, and spiritual. How do these 6 things incorporate into your life, and how can you take those different things that you do on your life and incorporate that into content that breaks you out of obscurity, okay? So number 5, question-based posts to create curiosity, to create people to engage, to look for information from others, to show that you're vulnerable. Question-based posts are really good because it lets other people feel significant in their own way. So, exactly. So, last thing, really, really beneficial that Scott talked about that I really, really like is an invitation to join what you're doing. So, any type of invitation, whether it's products, services, free checklists, whatever it may be, super, super beneficial to let people take a look into what you're offering and what you're all about. Very, very, very helpful to get people moving. So let's recap. We've talked about 3 of the 4 things. I talked about what Harvey McKay's story was to me, which is that you can either be planting or you can be harvesting, but you want to be doing more of planting. 80% planting, 20% harvesting. Planting is going to get you that long-term positioning in the marketplace. Harvesting is when you eat, you enjoy, right? But you don't want to harvest without making those seeds sprout. Then we talked about knowing the goal, right? The goal is to have your messenger inbox filled with inquiries about you and what you're all about. How do you do that? You break out of obscurity by the different types of ways you post and separating yourself from that. So now here's my last tip on this is you want to be doing indirect content that relates to your product or service, not direct content. So here's what I mean by that. If you have a product or service that is in the fitness industry, let's say it's a protein powder, how you're going to make a living, how you can monetize is by getting people to buy your protein powder, right? That's like the real black and white thing. You get people to buy this protein powder, you pay the bills next month. But you can't go on social media and ask people to buy your protein powder all day because no one's going to buy it because they don't like to be pitched or sold. Indirect content, however, can actually position you in the marketplace where people like you first, and then out of the protein powder, they'll buy yours. How do they do that? Your indirect posts about fitness, about nutrition, about health, about taking those different posting styles and putting it into your own branding of fitness. And then as you do that, what is it going to do? It's going to get people in your messenger box, right? Like the last goal we talked about, get them into your messenger box. And then you can offer your direct service behind the scenes. Look, you could pitch people your service all day in Messenger, and no one in your whole community on Facebook's going to know, right? You could be grinding your butt off, responding to like 100 people on Messenger, pitching, closing, doing whatever it is. But on your actual profile or your fan page, if your content is just that generic, good content, going through those strategies we just talked about, people aren't going to think you're annoying. They're not going to think you're spammy. So the indirect content is what's actually going to curate that group, and then all of the real sales is happening behind the scenes. I hope you understand how lucky we are to live in 2018 where you can literally run an entire business on freaking Facebook. I mean, it is absolutely monumental what you can do with this, and take that cash flow and put in other investments like cryptocurrency, like whatever it may be, to live how you want to live. So let's circle this back around. I was talking about indirect posting. If you work with a travel company, a lifestyle company, you're doing travel hacks, you're doing travel tips, you're doing a Facebook Live interviewing someone that's used credit card points to travel for free, and people start hitting you up about those things, and when they hit you up in your messenger, what do you say? Well, I have a gift for you after this, but I'm going to give you one tip that's made a huge impact. First thing that I say when people hit me up and ask me what I'm doing or what, hey, that post is really beneficial, you go, how can I support you? Don't overcomplicate any of this. Like, seriously, keep it so simple. Can you imagine how good it would feel if you hit someone up for advice or wisdom or knowledge and you're maybe a little intimidated, and the first thing they reach out is saying, hello, what's up? Well, how can I support you? Because what they do when they say, how can I support you, is they're saying, I want to serve you first, no matter what that is, and then we can go along our business relationship or whatever that may be later. Because saying how can I support you could be a lot more work than you realize. But at least opening that invitation to be willing to do that positions you someone who wants to give first. When we talked about that, plant first and harvest later. So as you're building that messenger inbox, as you're building people that are interested in the indirect value you give, you tell them, how can I support you? Now, some of you maybe ask, well, what else do I say in Messenger, right? If Messenger is that gold mine, that place where you can get tons of people interested in what you're all about, what do I actually say? So, once again, I've been working on a digital program that I'm launching later this month that has been tested by a lot of other people in the space and has gotten amazing testimonials and amazing reviews, and I'm coming out with later this month. And one of the things that we offer in it is scripts. Now, what am I saying when I say scripts? I'm not talking about just the normal closing scripts or the stuff you see, in infomercials or BS movies. I'm talking about scripts that actually work. I'm talking about scripts that are actually used, actually tested, and actually proven. And one of them is scripts used on Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, texting. So, that being said, one thing I'm offering is what I call magnetic messenger scripts. What is this? This is pages and pages and pages of actual scripts that people can use on Messenger to get people interested about you, your core values, your premise, what you're about, what you want to offer in the world, and of course, it's totally free. I think people really need this information. I want people to get this just so they can have value. The other reason I want people to get this and I want to give it away for free is so that people can conduct business in a way that gives them ease, that makes them feel like they can express themselves how they should be on social media. So they don't have to feel like they need to hide who they actually are, they need to make pretend who they actually are. They can just be themselves, they can be vulnerable, they can share what they want to share, and in the process of sharing what they want to share, they can create a group of people that we talked about before. It doesn't need to be a big group of people, but a group of people that truly care and love them. Why? Because when you have a small group of people that love who you are, love your mission, love your message, they'll share it, they'll spread it. And when they do that, other people who may not know you, who may not indirectly see your content or your value, will start attracting to you and your mission and what you're all about. So, I want to offer you this. It's called Magnetic Messenger Scripts. It's completely free. If this is something that you would want, you can direct message me. It's a perfect way, just saying, give me the scripts, say scripts, magnetic messenger scripts, whatever it is. I'll send you the link so you can access them completely free. And if you got value out of this live, I would appreciate if you gave it a share, if you gave it to some people maybe in your business and your team that you think would benefit from. Once again, my mission is to help you make that transition and do what you love full time. If you're already doing what you love full time, I commend you and that is amazing. Let's help other people do it. Let's spread the consciousness of what this amazing industry can do for you and for other people, and people that are in positions where maybe they're not happy where they're at, right? Maybe they're stuck doing something over and over and over again, and the idea of creating success on their own terms seems so far away. They're discouraged, they have anxiety, and their subconscious programming through years and years and years of poor psychology has put them in a position where they feel like they can't get to that next level, but they want it so bad. They want it so bad. Let's give it to them. Let's be better. Let's do what we can to help other people. And in the process, we're going to get everything we need. So once again, if you want this script, you're more than welcome to have it. Just send me a message. I'll get it to you. I appreciate you guys hopping on. This was an unplanned live. I'm going to keep doing content like this week after week. And later this month, I do have an amazing program to offer people that I think will leave a lot of value in your business, in your life, and help a lot of other people too. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give it a share if you got value out of it. Bye for now. Signing out. Talk to you later.